Lando Norris suspension fears lead McLaren boss Zak Brown into calls for change. McLaren have called for a review of F1's penalty points system with fears that Lando Norris could face a one-race ban in the 2022 season. Norris, 22, was considered one of the most exciting drivers on the circuit last year, eventually finishing 6th in the drivers' standings, having briefly threatened to break into the top 4. At the Russian Grand Prix in Sochi, the 22-year-old landed his first ever pole position, and seemed destined to also notch a first career victory in the following day when he led in the closing stages. However, his hopes were scuppered by sudden rain showers, with Norris gambling by opting to stay on dry weather tyres and guide his car to the checkered flag. It backfired as Lewis Hamilton duly overtook him, and after eventually declaring he had to pit, Norris finished 7th. However, the new regulations being brought into F1 for the 2022 campaign should boost the prospect of Norris and teammate Daniel Ricciardo, regularly challenging the current dominance of Red Bull and Mercedes. The British star will have to tread carefully though, after picking up 5 penalty points on his FIA Super license during the latter half of last year, all of which will remain in play until after the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in June. A total of 12 penalty points clocked up by a driver on their license during a 12-month spell means a mandatory one-race suspension, although that punishment has yet to be utilized since the regulation was introduced in 2014. McLaren CEO Zak Brown has now lamented the crazy situation, arguing that none of the points handed to Norris were merited. He's also called for the FIA to review the rules to prevent drivers having to be unnecessarily restrained. "I can't remember any incident where Lando drove dangerously," Brown told motorsporttotal.com. "We wrote to the FIA in Formula 1 with 7 races to go and said Lando pushing Perez off the track without touching him is 1 race away from losing his license. I think the points should be about dangerous driving, not racing incidents. So I'm more interested in getting things like this resolved because we were concerned about Lando." The FIA is currently conducting an inquiry into the controversial safety car procedure that plagued the controversial Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, but Brown said it's not only the events at the Yas Marina which needed investigating. Brown said, "I understand, of course, everyone is focused on Abu Dhabi, but I look at the last 2 years. And there's a lot to clean up." Norris, however, isn't in the same danger territory as a selection of other drivers ahead of the season opener in Bahrain on March 20. Yuki Tsunoda and Sergio Perez have 8 and 7 points respectively and must avoid reaching 12 in the first 3 races of next season. More imperative for Red Bull is the situation of Max Verstappen, who will carry 7 points up until the Italian Grand Prix in September.